I didn't get any notification that you were here, Chris. You'll have to message in chat if you want me to see anything. Can you see everything all right? Yeah, no idea what to do about the bot, but I'm not gonna let it bother me. But you can see, yeah, well, if the overlay, let's see here. If the overlay is not kind of in the way, I can't really, I can do, that is about the best I can do. Now it's slightly less in the way, but like I can't do much in terms of that. You can see through the overlay though, yeah? I might pause with me here. There. That'll make it a little easier to see too. How's that? Awesome. Well, I'm gonna get started here. I know I've kind of told you a little bit about it all, but Hollow Knight is a Metroidvania, and Steel Soul mode is if I die, I lose all my progress. So I'm gonna try and run the game quickly while trying not to die, and we're gonna see how well this goes. Feel free to like make conversation in the chat. I got no one to talk to, as far as I know, so this is like having someone to chat with would be helpful. I will say I don't know if I'm gonna finish the speedrun today because it's not really a speedrun, and I definitely don't finish this nearly as fast as the world record pace stuff. So I'm not going to promise anything in that regards. That's why I didn't list it in the stream name as a speedrun. I said I'm playing the game, but quickly. Yeah, not really. I'm gonna use some speedrun tricks for sure, but like, I'm mostly just trying to actually complete the game in Steel Soul mode because this game is hard. I've done it once before, but like, I took way too long to do it. I think the first time I did the Steel Soul run, I got 100% completion in about 9 hours, but 9 hours is still a long time. Yeah, no, world record is something like just over an hour. Um, I I'm nowhere close, like not even remotely. Well, I botched that up. Trying to like check the chat and play the game at the same time is new to me, so this is gonna take an extra couple seconds. I'm gonna definitely make more mistakes than I'm used to making, which is gonna bother me. So charms are kind of like your power-ups in this game. They're one of like 3 or 4 different kinds. They're the more versatile of the options. Nah, if I die, you can go ahead and laugh, and I'll likely just start over if I die early enough in the run. But if I die late enough in the run, then I'll probably just give up. Call that the stream for the day. But yeah, no, that charm is really nice because right now at least, because if I'm low on health at any point, if I get to 1 health, it's just like jacks up your damage output, which is really handy for taking out the bosses and stuff. It's really nice early game, but it's not something I end up using for long. I mostly use it because it's the earliest charm buff you can get. This game is beautiful, though. It's gorgeous to look at. It could. It likely won't. If I'm knocked down to 1 health, I'm probably going to die. The goal on a steel soul mode, so there's 2 types of enemies in the game. There's enemies that'll hit you for 1 skull, the little health thing on the top left there, of damage, and there's enemies that'll hit you for 2 skulls of damage. Any enemy that'll hit you for more damage, and that is all optional, and all, like, even if they kill you, it doesn't reset a hard steel soul run, because it's all inside of a dream. But, because of that, the goal with the steel soul run, the tactic I've always used, is to keep myself at or above 3 skulls at all points, because then if I do take damage, I'm actually not going to buy his maps. I don't know why I started talking to him. Then if I do take damage from any source that could potentially kill me, I'm still standing at the 1 or 2 health, and I can recover from there. Hollow Knight's also got a really neat mechanic with the soul meter up in the top left there, that little circle that's filling up. As I hit enemies, that fills up, and as I take damage, my skulls break, but then I can press and hold the B button at A point to focus and use the soul to heal, which means the more damage you deal, the more you can heal up from the damage you take. To some extent, there's more to it than that, but it's a really nice mechanic for when you do stuff like that and just jump into acid accidentally without paying attention. I am going to, especially early in the game, free as many of those little critters as I can, because there's a guy who basically pays you, for freeing them, and that money ends up being huge. And like for the beginning, a lot of the game is going to require me to run around and pick up money, like I'm doing now. Just because I need a specific amount to do a couple things that I'm going to be trying to do in a bit. Sadly, these giant worm things are immortal, so I can't eliminate them as a threat. I'm gonna pull some cheese here. One of many of the cheeses I'm gonna pull in this game. Yeah, it is disappointing. I'd love to kill these things. There's a weapon I get later that can give me soul for hitting them, but that's about all I can get out of it. Man, I hate going for that money. The cheesiest of cheeses, yeah. Alright, I'm actually coming up on the first of 2 early bosses here that I'm gonna fight. This one's optional, you don't actually need to fight him, but if you don't actually get access to 2 of the most important shops for playing this game quickly. And that's that. Kaboom. So that was the Gru's mother, and these are the Grus. It's right full of babies, and I just slaughtered them. I am a murderer. Yeah, Keegan recommends it a lot too, and I'm super down to definitely like download it, check it out, but I don't want to spend $40 on it. I should, if I knew how, I would do a classic thing I've seen some of the streamers I've watched do and start a child killing counter. The price is very steep. Don't get me wrong, it looks great, and I'm definitely interested to try it out and play it with everybody, but I'm making a bunch of big purchases right now, and I don't want to spend a bunch of money on a game at this moment, so it'll end up waiting for a bit for me. Oh, bugger. And I'm having a rough time of things. I'm usually much better than this, I promise you. Yes, it is unfortunate. Sure. Don't sass me, boy. These guys are by far the hardest early game enemy. That little shield makes a big freaking difference. I'm glad you auto-corrected because I was going to be very confused about the fact that you would say me all you wanted. I want the money from this guy before I go fight the next boss. I'm so confused. Oh! This is one of the enemies that hits for 2, so I'm going to play things a little safer with this guy. Especially because I messed up and let him hit me. They're fairly easy to fight once you know their pattern. Money. Alright. Now I'm headed to the next boss, the first main boss in the game, actually. Which, interestingly enough, is entirely skippable. You can weaken him, and during the fight he weakens the walls around you. And then you can actually break the wall and leave without actually killing him. It's not that he's hard to kill, it's that they hit for 2 health, which at the early game, especially the first time you play, is intimidating as hell. So I'm actually going to open the fast travel system back to the start. Because I'm going to buy a charm. Now that I've got Sly back at the shop area here, I'll be able to purchase from him one of the best items in the game. Well, several of the best items in the game. The one I want is the Gathering Swarm Charm, because it makes a bunch of little flies follow me around that go and pick up all the money that falls on the ground for me, so I don't have to, which saves an enormous amount of time from here on out, because it means I never need to stop to pick up the money from everything I kill. As you can see, they're bringing me the money now. It makes just moving around the room becomes priority, and you can just let them get the money for you. Down he goes. And because of that, I just gotta stop for a second in front of some of the doors, and all the money is mine. It's really nice. It saves a lot of time in just minor money managing. You can see the wall's already been repaired previously, and that's where you can break that wall and escape fighting this guy as he starts taking more damage. Oh, I wanted to get on this side of him. Messed that up. He's kind of cute too. I know I'm saying it's a speed run in air quotations, but I'm going to stick around and show you his mace that he's been fighting me with is actually a little bug. If you watch it long enough, it'll get up and skitter away. I love that. It's immortal. It's invincible, so I could wail on it and stuff, and it'll just bounce around and then get up and walk away. But it's still cute. Well, they're all... Everything in this game is bugs. This is a world of bugs in a tiny little nest called Hollow Nest. The Hollow Knight is a weird exception. I don't think he's quite a bug. They even, like, your sword that you're fighting with is a nail. It's not a sword. And so everything that I will fight and interact with is going to be a bug in some regard. But yeah, some of the enemies are super cute, some of them are quite funny. That guy's on the cuter side of things. Alright, so I got my first spell. You can use spells to use the soul bar up at the top instead of actually healing with it, and they hit really hard. In fact, I think my nail, unupgraded right at the start, does about 5 damage per hit, and the attack from this does something like 25 or 35, so it's either 5 attacks with my nail or 7. Well, either way, it's super worthwhile to just use it. And it kind of wrecks everything in its path. That could have been bad. That was bad. Go this way real quick. It's gonna save me a couple seconds in the long run. So if I get close to this guy, he hides in the shell. Case in point, you can't hit him with your nail, so you have to use the soul attack to fight these guys. When you run out of soul, you gotta wait for them to spit out a baby so you can charge up the soul to finish them off. But they're not particularly hard either. Kind of a gimmicky mini-boss. Actually, I do want to stop there and switch my charms real quick. Soul Catcher makes it so when I hit enemies, they give more soul to that little meter at the top left corner. And soul is huge for casting spells, which as you saw are very overpowered. So carrying that around is ideal at, like, minimum. You should recognize this room is meant to resemble a very particular room from Metroid, Super Metroid, the original one. I wonder if you can tell which one. Yes, sir. So this guy will pay me for every grub I save. And sometimes he gives me things that are better than just money. But the money, it increases by 10 per grub I've saved, so I've saved 4. So I got 10, 20, 30, and 40, which adds up to 100. But because I grabbed the 10 so early before everything, it only showed the 90 at the top there. Mess that up. I'm actually going to let him explode before I go forwards. This area is new, and it's rife with new, spooky enemies, like the orange guy there that explodes on death. Those clouds of smoke will really hurt me, so I'm just going to do my damnedest to not get hit by them. Yeah, that room. I think they're supposed to be Zabezians based off of what Other M says, but I'm not sure. So there's a speedrunning trick where people will jump here and turn and fire 2 spells and it'll land them right on that platform. I'm not good enough to do that, so I'm going to cheese it. I'm going to lead this little flying guy up here. And I'm literally going to use him as a springboard. Case in point. That little springboard trick with the little guy earlier saves me like a lot of time. Something like 5 minutes. If I can do the like magical backwards push dash thing that they actually do in the professional speedruns, I'd be able to save even more time, like another 30 seconds or something like that, but hey, it saves enough time that I really don't care one way or the other. Alright, this is the first actually hard enemy in the game. Unless I just do this. He takes 3 shots and a hit to the face, or a lot of hits. Five minutes is a huge amount of time in terms of, like, it could be more as well, because if you die down there, because it's a big, like, long, roundabout way, so I could hop up above me here. You can probably hear in the background someone's grunting or whatever. There's a monster eating a dude. I could save him, and in which case I fight a boss, and then I save a guy who is very ungrateful, or I ignore him and leave him to die. And I'm going to do the latter. Now, I am going to fight, hopefully, both of these guys at once. Ow. Because I need the money behind them. One more time. Come on, bud. Pop up. Oh, I messed that up. So now I'm going to use the heal that I was trying to save up to make myself not die. Now, if I had more health, I'd go over here and I'd fight one more of those mini boss enemies for a chance at saving another grub for money, but I don't, and I'm not going to waste my time. I am going to pop down here because shortcut, and I could heal before a more difficult boss fight. This is Hornet. Hornet's got like a whole lot of story reasons for wanting me dead. But she becomes a cherished ally later. Spoiler alert. Aw, man, I'm having a rough time with her here. She's also got some of the best music in the game. And because of beating her, I get one of the best items. The ability to fecking dash and avoid and dodge, and oh, I love it. It also just makes movement easier. And we're back. You can already see how much easier the movement is with the dash. I'm going to head straight for something here. And I'm going to keep moving forwards. As I said before, this area blocked two shopkeepers. One was Sly, who I freed up top, and the other is Salubra. This is Salubra. She sells charms, and not just charms, but really overpowered charms that are really good and make the game a heck of a lot easier. I'm gonna buy the cheaper ones right now while I can, because if you buy enough, she lets you buy charm slots, which will let you equip more charms. That'll do. I'm out of money now. And I'm going to unequip Soul Catcher and equip Shaman Stone. Now, what that does is it super powers my spells. So if I think it's 1.5 times damage from what they do, and they're increased in size, like that. So it's the highest early game DPS thing you can have. So I'm gonna use that to knock bosses down way quicker. This isn't the way forwards, is it? Nope. It's further up. Okay, here we are. The route to the next area. This area is much harder than the last one, but still easy enough. My first time through here, though, I died a lot. Mostly because of moments like that. Falling into the acid here is super easy and not fun. I think I've got enough to open your shop up. No, I don't. So he's got a shop with some really neat and very powerful charms, but I will likely come back to him later if I come back to him at all. If I can't open his shop now, there's likely no point in me coming back, because I'm likely not going to use his charms anyways. And we got another charm notch. Nice, quick, and easy. So that enemy that just appeared is actually the worst enemy in this area. They spawn those little green spores that you see, and if that explodes on me, that's 2 hearts damage, and it's really hard to kill these things. So I'm not a particularly big fan of them as far as monsters go, but that's okay. Now, if I cared to stick around, I would show you the character Cloth. He's funny, he's neat, I like his character. He doesn't matter to the progress right now, so I'm not going to worry about him. And Hornet, and I go this way. So if you actually read any of the dialogue and chat with any of the characters coming down this way, they talk about this race of powerful warriors, the Mantis tribe that's down here. And these are those warriors. They attack pretty much everything in sight. They are genuinely hard to fight, make you use a lot of the skills that you've gained up to this point back to back. Messed that up. But yeah, they're really interesting creatures, and we're about to actually make them our allies in a little bit here. Save here for the sake of having healed up. It doesn't matter if I save anywhere on those benches because I'm not going to respawn if I die. I'm mostly doing that for make sure if I do decide to quit or something, I can quit back to a save point, and you can also reset your health and stuff if it's down there. Also, it's just kind of habit from my casual playthroughs. see if I can pull this off. There are not many chances to effectively do this, but if I can springboard off this guy twice, I can get up there without having to go all the way around. The answer is no, I can't. I gotta go back and all the way around. And I got the best movement capability in the game, the ability to cling to walls. Lets me wall kick too. So now my movement's going to get real complex, real fun, and there's not much that's locked to your ability to move now. You could arguably go pretty much everywhere in the game with a little know-how and some patience in your movement. You still there, Chris? One of arguably the best bosses in the game here. No, one of the best bosses in the game here, not arguably, they just are. Messed that up. Whew. They're a fun boss, but they're a hard boss to fight. When you beat them the first time, you get an achievement called Respect, and afterwards, all the mantises will just bow in respect, and they won't fight you. Top that off, you get access to this room, which is filled with all sorts of goodies. That's worth a bunch of money. That is a bunch of money. And this charm is one of the best charms in the game, although I'm likely not going to use it throughout this run. So I'm actually going to pop down here for some stuff real quick. Then I'll head back up. Hardcore parkour. Not a good speed run, but I am trying to do it quickly. I'm nowhere near professional enough to actually do a world record speed run by any means, but I'm not half bad at the game, and I can do my first playthrough on Steel Soul. I managed to beat it in 9 hours, so that's quite a while ago now, but it's still quick. Oh, it's a blast to speedrun. There's a lot of tricks in the speedrunning community that make way too much sense, but require you to have like an in-depth knowledge of the game. My first playthrough, I spent like 50 hours just exploring and getting 100%. And then after that, I started going for all the achievements, and now I love the game a lot, so I'll keep playing it. But I really do enjoy playing it through, giving it a bit of a run, getting better and better at it. I still die all the time to some of the usual bosses that kill everyone off, but I do my best.
Ranjo Stenja. Jonsha.
The problem with speedrunning this game is I love the characters. Yeah, no, the first playthrough is really hard. The basics take a lot of time to get down, but once you got the movement basics in particular, the boss fights become a lot easier. Because then once you take less damage, you can start casting more spells with your soul, and that's very much worthwhile. Yeah, my main complaint, as I was saying, with speedrunning this game is I love the characters, I love the music, and I love the story, and so you very much miss out on a lot of that by spamming through text and dashing through the game at high speeds, which is a real shame, because the game is just really well done.
Vår son Gian velmi artred. Vår son Gian Helmadelka.
Favorite area? That's hard. Not Deep Nest. God, I hate Deep Nest. I think everyone does. It's a well-made level in that it's eerie and creepy and no one likes it. And that's what they were going for. I'm a really big fan of Crystal Peaks. It's beautiful. It's a lot of fun to run through. I love the concept of a lot of the areas, to be 100% honest, but I think my favorite area overall has to be Kingdom's Edge. It's one of the hardest areas in the game, but it's just the ambiance to it and the story area there is really nice. City of Tears is beautiful, and when you find out that the reason that the water is dripping down through the City of Tears is the lake above, it makes so much sense, and I love it. You know, Crystal Peaks has some really interesting enemies, but they're hard to fight. They're hard to deal with. I still take way too much damage there. Oh, it's definitely, it's hard if you're not prepared. If you're ready for it, it's actually one of the nicer areas. But I do recommend just taking time to like gather some things before going to Kingdom's Edge. It is a really fun little area to play through though. The boss himself isn't actually all that hard. Like, it's surprisingly easy to take him down. But he is... It's threatening because he's on the bench, and you need that for, you know, saving. hate these guys. They deal so much damage out of nowhere. It's the second time you fight the bench boss, that's what I was getting at there, that he actually becomes spooky, because the double damage and the fact that he moves faster makes him just a real threat. But you don't have to fight him the second time, so that's, you know, in and of itself, not particularly bad. This way, Steven, this way. I'm having a rough time of it all of a sudden, goodness. Yeah, no, that's the refight of the first major boss, right? The failed champion is actually really hard. It's worth it. He gives you quite a bit of bonus essence, I think it is, that you collect in the nail. But yeah, no, he's not an easy boss in any means to fight. Like, at all. I will say this. This is one of my least favorite areas because you have such a small amount of health when you get here, and the enemies are just a huge, like, difficulty ramp up from where they were before, and so it's quite the difficulty spike. But the atmosphere here is great. Yeah, no, my first playthrough of Soul Sanctum involved a lot of deaths and a lot of cussing on my part. It's not so spooky now, but I still really don't like the caster monsters. They are my second least favorite monster in the game, because that little orb that circles them makes approaching them significantly more involved and difficult. And then the fact that their orbs half follow you make them far more spooky in terms of damage output, and I'm not a big fan of that. The great and powerful Uwu. And his name's actually Umu, but like, oh, I love Umu. He's such a dumb, like, fighting him in the DLC is way harder than fighting him in the actual Fog Canyon, and fighting him with Quirrell is one of my favorite things. Quirrell is my, like, favorite character in this game by far. But yeah, no, I'm not a big fan of the boss as a whole. It's either too easy or too hard, depending on what you've found and done. This guy is one heck of the Soul Master, or Soul Tyrant, when you fight him again powered up in his dreams. That guy's mean. You gotta be quick to be able to do any damage to him, and it's not easy. Watched a streamer die to this guy like 40 times the other day, and that was something. Oh, yes, no, those things are cancer. If you hit their exploding orb down into the acid, it doesn't actually go off. That's the only consolation for those creatures. Fluke Marm is an easy boss. I definitely recommend him if you're going to try and deal with it. Nosk is not a particularly easy boss, but he's worth it to fight because it gives you the ability to upgrade your nail for further. But Nosk is... like, I recommend you do both, by all means. But I would start with the Fluke Marm. While it's not going to power you up for future boss fights like Nosk will, it's a much easier fight because you can either stand under him and just hit him with your shout spell over and over again, or you can just jump on his head infinitely with your down attack until he just dies, especially if your nail's upgraded enough. Yeah, no, the Fluke Marm's kind of a joke boss. It's not really a boss. Yes, getting to the Fluke Marm is harder than fighting the Fluke Marm. The flying ones, I don't know what to really say about them. They take practice to get like effective at killing, and that's about as nice as I can get about that because they are not a particularly fun enemy to fight. More money. They're annoying. There's a couple things you can do to get, like, make the little exploding bat bird things, like, not a threat. One is have one of the summon, like, follower pets that'll just auto-kill them once they start to aggro you, which means they no longer become a threat because they explode up in the air and never touch you. Or, dash in, aggro them, and then just dash out of the way again. That's really all there is to them. They are not a fun enemy to deal with, for sure. It's kind of a relief to get out of the Soul Sanctum. I'll be back later because there's something here that I really want, but like... yeah, so the little platform, as long as you can duck under it and not take damage, it's okay. But when he's approaching it from the side you're on, he will always catch you with his foot. So the best way to deal with him in that fight is to hit him a couple times and then duck under whatever edge of the platform is opposite him. It doesn't, like, he's not particularly hard in that sense, but he takes a lot of hits and he can dish a lot out if you're not careful. I've definitely died fighting him, but I've also found him at times to be just among the easiest bosses to potentially fight as well. It really just comes down to how you fight him, and how effectively you avoid getting wailed on by him. He can be super easy or just ungodly hard, but one way or the other, he's there, and that's enough, really.
Velmi Artrit. Opal. Helmadilka.
In comparison between him and Fluke Marm, though, he's a much harder boss to fight. I can't remember if... okay, so you upgrade your nail the first time without any ore. Then you upgrade it again with 1, again with 2, and I think one more time with 3 pale ore. And after that, it's fully upgraded. That's the pure nail. That's the final form. I can't remember the exact order they're in. Actually, sharpened. I think it's sharpened channeled spiral pure, but each upgrade of the nail is like plus 4 damage, which is the nail starts out dealing 5. That additional 4 damage doesn't mean it means it's not quite double or not quite increased by whatever amount, but it ends up hitting like significantly harder than you'd expect. As always, the spells are just way stronger, but being able to deal enormous damage with your nail definitely helps take bosses out as well. Can't remember where I heard it, but supposedly the more you upgrade your nail, the more health some of the bosses have, so it's actually better to fight them with a powered up spell and less powered nail. But that could be entirely false, so don't go quoting me on that. Whoops. There's very definitely a way to skip the Monarch Wings. So if you get the Crystal Dash, which you can get in the Crystal area, the Crystal Peaks, you can pretty much complete the whole game. The other thing you need to... that one is one of the ones where, like, after you've got it, you can skip pretty much the rest of the game without getting any other upgrades. The other thing that you could get instead is Isthmus Tier, which is hidden in the same area as the Flute Farm boss, except, you know, opposite side of the area. Isthmus Tier makes you immune to acid, so you can swim through the water. And it's one of those two makes it possible to complete the rest of the game, though the Isthmus Tier makes it much easier to do. I do, like, genuinely recommend getting the wings. Like, it's worth it. The first form of the boss down there is actually fairly easy. Fighting him as Lost Kin, the version in his dreams when you defeat him, is a whole other thing. If you think you can do it, but, like, it's hard until you've got it down. I'm better off without that, actually. The Monarch Wings are actually, like, something I kind of like to have because it adds another level of movement to avoiding taking damage in boss fights. In fact, it's almost impossible to take down the failed champion, and the Soul Tyrant version of the Soul Master without the Monarch Wings. Like, they make the fight just entirely more doable. Not that it's particularly... what's the word I'm looking for? It's doable without them, but it's much easier to do with them than anything. Yeah, no, that's a good, like, order of operations. Fluke Marm's pretty easy. The Broken Vessel's quite a bit harder. But still definitely something that is very doable. I did not mean to actually reactivate you. I'm actually gonna buy this. And some of these. The simple key from him, nothing. The upgraded key from him, the shopkeeper's key, unlocks his storeroom and gives you more access to more stuff, including the elegant key, which is something I'm going to prioritize here shortly, because the elegant key is really, really, really handy for getting powered up spell. And I'm playing kind of a caster build, so I can deal as much damage as possible. So this guy exists in Steel Soul mode and Steel Soul only, because if I die in Steel Soul mode, the game ends, so there's no point to having the dude who trades you shades. So if you bring him the rancid eggs, he gives you straight up Geo, which is really handy for the fact that you need a lot of Geo. I didn't have enough Geo when I got back there to buy the lantern, so I bought a couple other things instead. The problem with that is I'm now heading to Crystal Peaks, and having the lantern would make this a much easier job. I will get enough Geo to come and get the lantern afterwards, because I kind of have to for future bits. But this is where I'm going next on my my route here. So I'm gonna have to play through this in the dark, which is fine by me. I've done it before. I wanted that. Oh well. I used it for a long time in my first playthrough. I thought it was hilarious and a lot of fun to use. I don't think it's for everyone. Definitely not. It's handy to have because it does an extra, like a sizable extra amount of damage. But whether or not you yourself choose to use it is up to your playstyle, whether you're in for the long run or whether you're in for just doing massive amounts of damage from the get-go. I am more of the latter, so I build my character to hit like a train and continue hitting like a train until the enemy's dead. But I had fun with it the first time I played for sure. Yeah, no, those crystal flies are like my third least favorite enemy. My least favorite enemy is one of the enemies in the King's... sorry, the Kingdom's Edge. That's what I'm looking for. It's the little flies I'm sure you've seen that shoot 3 shots instead of 1. Those guys will deal way more damage to you than they ever have a right to deal. And it's so frustrating and annoying. That's because they frustrate everyone, yeah. grab the shopkeep's key. Like I said, I'm gonna want that for later. Yeah, no, he drops a good chunk. You get more from taking out the Mantis Lords and then dipping in behind that little secret room. I think you get 620 for that, but I've already spent that, so I'm more than happy for the 300 from that little fight. And I wish I could stop and chat because Quirrell's up here and I love Quirrell. This way. Ow. I missed the fourth one, that's my bad. The Seer is definitely one of my favorite NPCs as well. Just a really good character as a whole. I'm also a big fan of Zote, but only for the memes. Exactly. You know, the Seer has more dialogue than most other characters as well because of all the times you stop by her to drop off the essence and stuff. Great character. But Zote has single-handedly more lines than any other character in the game, mostly because of his 57 precepts. This is one of the things that makes it possible to complete the game without getting any of the other upgrades. I'm likely going to go for the other upgrades. Like I said, I'm not good enough to beat the game with just this on Steel Soul mode. But I'm going to do my darndest. Yes, and honest. I don't like you guys being right there. Well, that's more damage than I was happy to take. I'm gonna back right up for a little bit. Oh, favorite enemy. Okay, favorite enemy has to be like mini like fightable enemy. I actually love the concept of the mimics, the enemies that look like a grub but turn into a monster afterwards. I think that's a really clever concept. I hate them for fighting, but like I think they're really neat. Like overall enemies as an end of story, I have to say Zote again because Zote is hilarious both to chat with and to fight. Yeah, no, the little grub hiding over here is quite well hidden away. I should be able to go now. If you shatter their thing and they attack you, they're a mimic. If you shatter their thing and they dig into the ground, they're a grub. That's how I tell. But the mimics are in a set place, and there aren't very many of them. So once you've played through the game, you know exactly which is which because they're always in the same spot. For instance, just up ahead is a grub mimic, and then behind him is a grub. And I know that because I've completed the game enough times and freed this one enough times to know. But I didn't know the first time, and I ended up surprised and took a bunch of damage. But, you know, live and learn. Oh, those are so cute. I love those guys. Yeah, no, those guys are adorable. Like the little ones that like come up from the ground, or the big leaf things that leap up and charge at you. Which one do you mean there? Yeah, no, those guys are adorable. The big leaf ones are okay. They're pretty cute too in their own way. Worth it. I don't know if you saw that, but I gave him a rancid egg and got 300 geo. That is why you opened that. Goodness. Yeah, no, they can deal a lot of damage if you're not prepared for them too, because they wail on you. I want to buy that thing, but I'll come back for it. So now that I've got the shopkeeper's key, there's more things here available, including this, which I'm going to come back for because I really want that item. But first things first, I'm going to go continue the actual run. Whoops. botched that real good. Oh, here we go. I am satisfied with that. Well, less satisfied with that. Nope. Oh. Not behind Flukemarm. Opposite direction. You have to beat the Dung Defender. It's only stressful because I nearly died. I have to be extra careful here to get some health back before I take damage, or that's the end of this run. But the not behind Flukemarm, kind of the opposite direction. Once you take down the Dung Defender, if you go to a certain area in the nest there, you I'm not going to chance that. You find the poison area has lowered. There's a switch behind Dung Defender that does it, and then you can go through the door there, and you can access. I'm in a bad spot here. You can access Isthmus tier. Will he come back if I leave the room? Yes, he will. Hey, I got a health farm. It wouldn't be so bad if I took the time to actually refill my health, like to increase my max health points. I really should. I've got the ability to do so now. But I 100% have not done that yet because I was trying to do it quicker. I'll probably do a bit here shortly where I'll run around and just collect some mask shards real quick because it'll keep me from dying, you know? Steel Soul can be stressful though. Stressful for sure, not particularly difficult as long as you're patient. Ow. I had full health. Now the good news is the laser enemies like that are just up there, and there aren't very many of them. The bad news is they're mean. Alright, this is an area where I could very well die. I shouldn't, but I promise nothing. I didn't die. Not only because of those platforms, but those god-awful crystallized birds are the worst. Yeah, no, I'm thinking they might move up on my list of least favorite enemies from, like, number 3 to, like, number 2. Because I really don't like them. The fact that they leave spikes behind, too, is awful. So the Spirit's Glade was actually, the devs got all of the people who gave them money, who donated, the Kickstarters and the backers, to give them design ideas, and they made those into characters, which is those ghosts. And when you're running around killing them, you're actually killing Kickstarters. But if you do manage to kill them all, and then you talk to the ghost at the entryway, he will let you... He forgets why he exists, and you can actually kill him off. It's, like, really depressing and brutal, but kind of. The reason I jumped off the cliff when I first spawned in here, too, is because it causes her to spawn faster. Just figured I'd throw that in there for the sake of understanding. I'm not actually going to talk with her yet. See you. Have a nice day, man. I should just do that. seeing as I've lost the one viewer that I didn't personally know, hi everybody else. Hey, is that Kirk? No, that's Eric. That's Elisa. I thought I said Kirky, but it's Ellie. I knew about the spikes and I still fell. Classic. Oh, that was stressful. I almost died. So how's it going? I'll get this eventually. I'm doing this very poorly. Normally I don't have so much trouble with this. Here we go.
Gala negosa tros hakana sagamos.
Velmi Archet. Oh, Paul.
Time to make some mad
Velmi
Benjamins. So in everything I've gathered.
Velmi Archet. Velmi Archet. Boris son? Velmi Archet. Gachael. Velmi Archet. Velmi Archet. Helma Delka.
Oh, that went poorly.
ってますよ。
Wrong house. This is the one I want. Out of my way here to fight a secret boss for the extra health. It is a difficult boss and could result in me losing the run, but fingers crossed it doesn't. I'm gonna do it the easy way. That went really well.
Bapanada.
That's what I was gonna do. I'm heading here. Alright, I'm gonna go fight another mini-boss for an upgrade that will make the rest of the fights a lot easier. So I'm now headed this way. Now, if any of you who are watching were watching earlier, this is one of the harder areas in the game, and I was struggling here earlier. But the mini-boss here is not too easy. It's not impossible by any means. Down he goes. Easier than I'd expected. And this will upgrade my main spell, the one I used a bunch during that fight. So that it hits for way more damage. Which will make everything from here on out significantly easier. This way. I'm actually gonna go fight one of the main bosses that will lead towards me beating the game. Fingers crossed it goes well, because it could very easily result in my untimely and unpleased death. Messed that up, so I need to leave the room and come back. You're not technically supposed to go this way without having the double jump, which is hidden further in. I could go get the double jump. I don't care enough, so I'm gonna just not mess this up and use the pillar there as a springboard to jump off the wall to get higher up into this area. Eventually. Couple more attempts, and then I'm just gonna say screw it and go get the wings. That would have had it. Oh well, one more time. One of these days I'll be competent at this. There we go. Again, it's safe here, but it doesn't really matter unless I quit out. It's, really just done, so I got a safe place to quit out to. Or, full health for this guy here. This boss is actually 6 bosses, but if you cut down this chandelier, it's now 5. Which makes a big difference long term, honestly. I died. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the Steel Soul run over. An effort was made. Alright, well, that'll be that for the day. Goodness. But thanks for watching what you did, whoever is watching, and whoever watched as much as you did. I appreciate that people stopped and watch. I guess I'll start over another time. With that in mind, peace out.